Church family, today's our 38th anniversary as a church, and it's been quite a year, hasn't it? With the loss of my dad, our founding pastor, that's taken a toll on our church. But it's truly amazing how God continues to bless us and to use us. Our church is growing. In fact, we're growing a lot. If you compare this past month of November to the previous November, we averaged 949 more people in worship attendance, and we averaged 539 more people in life groups. The only explanation for that is the blessing of God. On an anniversary, it's important for us to remember our past, but it's also very important for us to look to the future. The mission of our church is to make disciples, and we've always believed that disciples are best made within community. For us, that's our life group ministry. But we have a problem. Now, it's a good problem, but it's a problem nonetheless. We're quickly outgrowing our space. We need more life group rooms. We started 18 new life groups in just the last few months. Here's what I'm getting at. We need another building. We need another building on our Fruitville campus, but we're also growing at Olive Drive as well. And we need to completely remodel Building 11 so we can have it for life groups. Now, all of us who've been through building projects before, we know exactly what that means. It means additional generosity and sacrifice as the Lord purposes in our hearts. Now, we don't have a plan to lay out to everyone because we're just getting started. Our next step will be to identify the best location and to hire an architect. And then, Lord willing, sometime next fall, we'll present the plan to the church. Now, I'm telling you now so that you're fully informed about what we believe is coming for our church. And also so that if God leads you, you're able to begin giving because there are going to be a lot of upfront costs. Now, one thing our church has a long history of doing is being able to walk and chew gum at the same time. We're making plans for the future, but those plans are going to take several years to materialize. In the meantime, we have no plans to slow down. The mission Jesus gave us, it's as urgent as ever before, which means we're going to get creative with our existing space until we get more of it. Now, we have additional 1,000 people or so who've started attending our church in the past year. Many new believers, many new members, which is why this January, we're having a special emphasis on church membership. I'm calling the series All In, the church member God desires. Now, we have life group lessons that will go along with that series. We're also giving away a book that's called I Am a Church Member. Some in our church have already read it, and they've shared with us how impactful it was for their Christian life. So we're making that book available to everyone in our church, and we're going to read it together as a church family in January. You can pick up a copy of the book in your life group today. Now, I can't think of a more challenging year in the life of our church than this past year. But one of the things my dad taught us over the years was to not waste our sorrows. I don't believe our church has wasted our sorrows, and I don't think we will. We're entering a new chapter in our church's history. New chapters, they can be a little scary because there's always a level of uncertainty connected to them. I don't know all the details either, and that can be nerve-wracking for me, but there's one thing I'm certain of. Jesus said he would build his church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. And we're seeing him do just that. He's building his church, and it's an exciting time. And God's chosen means to build his church, the tools that he uses are his people. That's us. God has faithfully built his church here at Valley for nearly 4 decades now, and I'm quite certain he's just begun. We stand on the shoulders of those who've gone on before us. Let us not waver or fall, but let us take the baton of faith that's been handed to us, and let us run the race before us, looking unto Jesus. My dad often said, hats off to the past, coats off to the future. Today, on our 38th anniversary, we give thanks to God, and we tip our hat to the past. But we also take off our coats and we roll up our sleeves because there's a whole lot more work to be done in the kingdom of God. Happy anniversary, church family. I cannot wait to see all that God has in store for us.